Hello, welcome to Let's Play Twisted Metal, Part 4, the finale. We're going against the final battle, where we're going to be pitted against some of the greatest enemies in the game. Well, actually not the greatest enemies in the game at all, they're actually three of the weakest enemies in the game, actually. Bumper, Outlaw, and Crimson Fury. You know, Crimson Fury's card is about as strong as a deck of cards. Bumper's not that strong either. He just has a really killer special attack and really shave off most of her health just like that. That's easy. You can murder most of the players in the game just by using Bumper's special weapon. And at this point, like I figured that the enemies in this game are hard-coded based, except for the first level. But the enemies you fight against in every level are hard-coded, and they're only change based on who you're playing as. You're playing as Yellow Jackets. You're always going to be going against Bumper, Crimson Fury, and Outlaw in the last level of this game. And the good thing is, too, we get a health recharger, too, or health regenerator, whatever you call those things, which actually regenerates pretty quickly in this level. So that's actually pretty good, because we're going to be needing that a lot in this level for all the stuff we're going to be going through, all the enemies we're going to fight. It's not over yet. We have so many enemies to fight, and they're really good at staying alive in this level, really good at running away from this level. Is actually kind of small compared to the last few levels we come across. It's about as par, in terms of size, it's about as par as the levels from the earlier levels in the game where we would be fighting them in a very small or somewhat small venue. But now, this time around, we're back into a somewhat small area. We're on rooftops, so where it's easy to fall off, especially because it feels like you're driving on ice. I've slipped off and fallen off quite a lot because it's like, it's like driving on ice pretty much. I almost fell off the edge several times during this take, where we're gonna make it all because it feels like, the roof is icy. I don't know, maybe Calypso put a lot of oil or grease or something like that on the roofs of the building, so we'll be all slipping and sliding around. This level actually feels a bit more slippery than some of the other levels of the game. I don't know, maybe it's the last level. I don't know, maybe they forgot to polish this level, maybe they put too much polish on this level or something like that. I don't know how that happened exactly, but there, we got our health refilled now, so, and like I said, I keep saying, it's good that the enemies can't refill their health, because otherwise this would be, just damn impossible. We could plant bombs there as a trap. We don't want to actually keep driving back and forth through there, and the enemies aren't necessarily going to go for that as well, so, yeah, if you don't actually want to trap that just yet. There, we launched a power missile now. Our power missiles are actually the most powerful weapons in the game. They only go straight. They can't lock on to anyone. There's no homing with them, but they can really pack a powerful punch. Homing missiles are pretty powerful too, and they actually home in. There, Outlaw is gone, so it's two more enemies left. We just have to take out two of the weakest enemies in the game, and then we take on the final boss, and the only non-playable character in this game, the only non-playable contestant in this game. And so, they don't always come for us. They actually like to run away from us. I don't know, maybe it's a bug in the AI or something. I don't know. Because like I said, the AI is supposed to run away, or some of them are supposed to run away from their enemies, and some are trained to fight against you, only against you. And the AI almost pretty much never attacks each other. So don't count on the AI to kill themselves for you or something like that, because that pretty much never happens. It would be a lot easier though they did that, and it would be more realistic too. I think some of the sequels may have done stuff like that, but for real, they always just go after you because it's in their DNA. It's literally hard-coded into their DNA. They always have to fight against you, and only you, and no one else but you, the human player. There's Crimson Fury. A couple fire missiles should do a pretty good number against him. And same with machine guns. The machine guns in this game are actually more powerful than they are in the sequels. The sequels' machine guns are actually not that strong. They don't really do much. And you see, we're horribly damaged. We're like really beat up and nearly destroyed. We only have a sliver of health left. But we're still going to pull through. We're still going to collect as many weapons as we can and try to take out Crimson Fury and make sure he doesn't get that box that he wants, that magical box, even though that's not really our goal, but it's still good to make sure of that. And then there's Bumper. He wants to bring peace back to the south side of LA, which is where he's from, but we don't want him to have that either, no, because our son is way more important. We need to know what happened to our son. The universe is depending on us finding out what happened to our son, right? What happened to our kid? He disappeared 20 years ago. What happened to him? We really need to know. The universe won't survive if we don't find out, so we're destined to win this tournament. We're destined to go after the bad guys, or our contestants. They technically are bad guys because, well, they're going against us, though, and we're clearly good guys, right? So that makes them bad guys by default. And so we have to drive around. Pretty much this is for a racing game. No wonder why somebody might be able to mistake this game for a racing game. We do racing game-like stuff. There, launch the power missile into Crimson Fury. That's pretty good. Just gonna drive around. Crimson Fury's probably gonna run away. Crimson Fury's a coward as well, too, which makes sense, considering the fact that they keep saying his car is like a deck of playing cards. You can make a tower of cards that have more strength and more stability than Crimson Fury's car. I'm surprised it doesn't just fall apart while he's driving down the street, like, or doesn't go like putt, 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 or something like that, where it falls apart kind of thing, like in some 1930s cartoon or something like that, where the car falls apart or something like that. Someone suggested it should make like a Twisted Metal for the Eras game or something that we could play as like old cars, like Twisted Metal, like 1930s cars, 1920s cars. I think that would sound like a pretty interesting idea, actually. And so Crimson Fury is no more, so all we have to go after now is Thumper. Apparently you can't name Pokemon Thumper because the word hump is censored and has the word hump in the name Thumper. Thumper is actually one of the coolest cars in this game, actually. His car has a strong resemblance to Homer Simpson's car. I like to think Homer Simpson is driving Thumper, but no, it's Bruce Cochran, some pimp from the South. It's like some pimped out warrior that thinks he could, bring peace back to the field. Well, he's not going to do that now because he's dead. We just killed him, and yet somehow he's going to come back in the next game. I wonder how that is. But then again, since when did anything in Twisted Metal ever made any sense? Twisted Metal's one of the most nonsensical series ever. Even the canon Twisted Metal games have nonsensical stuff in them, stuff that doesn't make any sense at all. So we're going after last year's champion. They got the champion of the 2004 Twisted Metal tournament, Minion. Minion is out in the far distance there. He's driving a tank that was stolen. Well, in the original story it was stolen, but I don't think Minion stole the tank. He probably just drives himself. Just gonna stay out here. We're gonna freeze him and then bombard him with power missiles. And then, that's kind of how you defeat Minion. Minion's weakness is power missiles, in case you're wondering. Freeze missiles don't actually do any damage at all. They just freeze the enemy in place so they can't do anything against you. And Yellow Jacket Special is pretty good, but still kind of inadequate. But the good thing is, I keep saying before, it does recharge very fast, regenerate pretty fast. We have a machine gun too, which does a lot more damage than it does in the later games. So, we're gonna just left having to run for our lives, drive away from our lives, try to get away from Minion, collect as many weapons and items and power-ups as possible, and then, pretty much that's just it. We're just gonna collect as many weapons. I think that's some homing missiles. So, this game actually has some of the best homing missiles in the series. They're not wimpy and weak like they are in some of the sequels. Gonna wait for Minion to fall. It's also kind of a tradition in this game that there's at least one Minion fight in every game. This is the only Twisted Metal game with PS1 where Minion's the final boss. But he's in most other Twisted Metal games in the PS1. But he's not the final boss. He's usually a boss. He usually appears at least once per Twisted Metal game. And so, that's kind of where the tradition begins. It begins in this game. He's the only boss in this game. Apparently it's possible to play as Minion if you use a Game Shark. I never had a Game Shark as a kid. I kind of wanted one a bit as a kid, where you could hack games, or you could hack video games and make them do unrealistic, or unreal, Unreal cheat codes, so you could hack games, you can make these characters, you can even play as Minion. Apparently you can only play as him in this one level, and not at any of the other levels in the game. I don't know, I never tried that. To be honest, I don't really like cheating at video games. I never cheat when I play any of these games. I think cheating is wrong, unless sometimes there's times where cheating could be justified, like when your data gets deleted due to a glitch or something like that, or some catastrophic error happens and you lose everything. So it makes up for that, and makes up for bullcrap moments in games too, especially games that are very buggy or don't really work that well, don't play very well. I think it kind of makes up for that. There are a lot of times where cheating is justified, or you can even argue it's justified if you just downright suck. You suck at video games so badly that's considered a real disability, where you get disability money every month from the government. Yeah, if that was a real disability, our governments would be broke right now giving away money to people that literally know nothing about video games. A lot of people literally know jack all about video games. They go to buy games at the store, and they're asked, okay, so what system do you want that on? They're like, system? What do you mean, what system do I want that on? I just want that game. Yeah, what system are you on? Why don't you understand what you mean? What systems? A lot of them are like that. They're completely baffled by what that means, by what a gaming system is, or what some of the systems even mean. In fact, you mean you can't just take a game out of one system and put it in another and play it? Whoa, my mind is blown. Yeah, people's minds get blown easy by stuff like that. And so, we just destroyed Minion. As you can see, their Minion is dead, and we won the 10th Twisted Metal competition. We are the winners. We're gonna meet Calypso and gain our prize. And that's Calypso right there, gonna grant the prize. You are the winner of the competition, and are granted an audience with Calypso, the creator of Twisted Metal contest. As you speed into his underground garage, you spot him surrounded by bodyguards and seated on a throne of broken car parts. His face is burned beyond recognition. His smile is hideous. He speaks. "As you know, I shall now grant any prize you request." You smile nervously and say, I just wanted some information. I just want to know if my son is still alive. He disappeared 20 years ago, and I haven't seen him since." Calypso frowns and gives you your prize. It is not good news. It turns out that you saw your son on this very night. He was the driver of the ice cream truck. For the last 5 years, he's been using the name Sweet Tooth, traveling the country looking for victims. Up until tonight, he was one of the country's most wanted serial killers. Now he is dead. Compliments of you. So I guess we're heroes then for killing a serial killer. As you speed off into the LA night, you are filled with a sense of anguish and regret you never thought possible. Perhaps you'll compete in next year's Twisted Metal contest and ask Calypso to take away your suffering. Yeah, I can never really trust that Calypso. He's probably going to do something that'll add even more suffering. And so that's how the cookie crumbles. As it turns out, that clown that was driving that ice cream truck, Sweet Tooth, he was our son this whole time. He was a notorious serial killer, and now we put him to rest. He's now dead, so we can't claim any more victims. And now the people of the world are free to live in peace because Sweet Tooth, the great serial killer, is dead, thanks to us. That would make us heroes, then. They should build statues of us in downtown LA that honor Charlie Kane, the almighty awesome driver of Yellow Jacket, and the hero that vanquished the evil Sweet Tooth, and is now considered, well, a great hero. And you should win an unlimited free supply of hero sandwiches for a lifetime from a local store, for a sandwich shop or something like that. He deserves it, because he killed Sweet Tooth. Yeah, so I guess that kind of sounds like, but it's actually not that bad of an ending, actually. It's actually one of the better endings of the game. And he didn't really get screwed over that badly. Well, okay, maybe, but that wasn't really Calypso's fault that his son became a serial killer thing. It wasn't really like Calypso's wrong. There wasn't really any wrongdoing here at all, actually. It's actually just people going about their way, going about, how things are, or how things should be, or something like that. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of how it is. Bruce Cochran is one of the testers of this game, and the guy that drives Thumper is named after him. I also noticed that guy also tested Ape Escape. So I was just playing Ape Escape on my Raspberry Pi a few days ago, and I played through the whole game in only 7 hours in a few days. Played through the entire game, I completed the whole game. And now I'm going to do a Let's Play of that game pretty soon. So yeah, I'll be seeing a Let's Play of the original Ape Escape for me pretty soon as well too. So I look forward to that. I look forward to doing that. That's going to be a lot of fun, I am sure. Well, since Ape Escape is one of the best games on the PlayStation, I recommended that Terry Garrett that Ape Escape game because, well, it's very similar to the Zelda. Well, not really similar, but it does have a lot in common with the Zelda games that he plays, and then that Super Mario 64 people encourage him to play, so I think it seems feasible that he could probably play through a game like that. But what do I know? Since when did I know anything about anything? So I'm just sitting through these bland credits where you can see the street that goes to Pasadena, and then there's some other escape to Pasadena, something like that. I don't know, I'm just sitting here watching the names of all the people that worked on this masterpiece of a game, or at least so it seems that it's a masterpiece of a game. And yeah, I wonder what these people do these days. This game came out like 26 years ago, so yeah. So this is kind of how the game is. It goes through all these credits, these very long credits. It does this every time you beat the game with any character. The later games don't do this. Later games actually make you watch the credits separately, or they want you to watch credits separately, not part of the actual game's ending. And so yes, this is one. I think this was one of the greatest games of 1995. It actually got Game of the Year, I think, from some magazine in 1995. And the creators of this game were actually quite impressed by it. It was actually turned out better than they expected it to be. This game went through a lot of different names. One of them was High Octane. That was the most common name it went by before it got the Twisted Metal name. It was called High Octane, and that's what they called it in the deleted live-action endings. This game did have live-action cutscenes and live-action endings, and it was originally going to have like a lot of extra stuff, storyline stuff too, but they cut all that out because it didn't really fit in with the game. The game probably wouldn't have had any sequels if they did all that or just left all that stuff in. And so, yeah, this is what we got. We just got text-only endings, which actually are okay. I'm okay with that. I mean, like, makes sense to use live action, too, because the animation is really expensive and hard to work with, because, it's just wow, animation is really hard to make a game. I appreciate anyone, I envy anyone that can make a game as good as this. It is a major achievement. This game is a groundbreaking achievement in the world of PlayStation and gaming in general, in good old 1995. So, yeah, this pretty much concludes this LP. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.